Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and I have a wonderful romance project to share with you. And it is a triple panel card, which is kind of neat. So it actually opens so that there's 3 separate pieces available for it. So this is a neat way to feature edgelets, whether you have these particular edgelets or a different set, as well as a piece of designer series paper. So this is kind of a neat card with the way the pieces all fold together to make the 3 panels. So let me get started and share some tips with you. Grab your paper because you're going to want to write down some scoring and cutting sizes for this card especially. So let's get stamping. So with your Stamps the Mail Club kit, all the pieces for this are pre-cut and ready to go. And if you haven't yet, you can check my website, lovenstamps.com, for this fun pinnable piece here, which shows how the pieces go together. And I'm going to give you some cardstock cutting sizes for this card, which is really kind of the most important. So the Pear Pizzazz card base is 5.5 inches tall and 7 inches wide. So when it's folded in half, you're going to have 5.5 here by 3.5 inches wide. Okay, the Whisper White pieces are 3.25 by 5.25, which is, and that 3.25 by 5.25 piece is actually going to fit on the left side in your card, since our card is going to open this direction. Trust me, it'll all come together. Then I have a piece of fresh fig that's also 3.25 by 5.25, and that is going to fit here on the front of this piece as it opens this direction. Then we come to our designer series paper. Okay, now this piece is 4 inches across here by 5.25 inches tall, and you're going to go ahead and fold that in half. And this is going to serve as the front flap of our card. So it's going to go this direction. All right, you still with me for our card base? So then this piece, I would use strong adhesive, since it's really going to get a lot of kind of wear and tear, at least on that one side, to make sure that you get a strong bond. So I've just used a strip of tear tape. Remember, the harder you push it down, the easier it is to get off. And then I'm going to flip this over so that I can really see what I'm doing. And this is going to line up to give us a little bit of frame at the top and the bottom, and then fit around the front of our card like that, okay? Then the last piece here is this Whisper White layer, and this piece is cut to fit on the front side, and it is die cut with the dies from the Floral Romance suite, the wonderful Floral Romance dies, and this one is cut just to fit inside this 5.5 inch front. So it was about 3.5 by 5.5 and then die cut. So I'm going to add, since this is another layer that sort of will see some movement, I'm going to go ahead and add a strip of tear tape to really make sure that that is going to anchor well between the adhesive between the layers. And then I'm going to kind of line this up on the front of my card, since that's where I need it to match, and then go ahead and close my card down on it to get our pieces where I need them. Okay, so there is the base for our card and all of our cutting directions. So really, you can see that that part is relatively simple. Then I have a Tyler tag punch piece, and this I'm going to pop on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. That's actually the edge piece, if you're wondering where that came from. This is going to pop on the front of our card. Then I have my Thinking of You greeting from the Wonderful Romance stamp set. I'm going to stamp that there. And then we have a strip of the gold and this pretty die cut leaf from the Floral Romance dies. And I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and actually I'm going to use another edge piece here. This one might be a little bit too long. I'm going to tear off a little bit. But the reason I like to use this edge is that it really helps to trap all those elements on there, so that I'm not actually having to work too hard to adhere those. And then when I peel the backing off, then I can just go ahead and put my greeting on there. So now we have the front of our card all set. I'm going to open this up, and I think that the inside could use a little bit of embellishment. So you can choose whether you want to go ahead and stamp this in the green, so in the Pear Pizzazz, and then go ahead and use an aqua painter. And if you haven't seen the aqua painter video that I showed at the beginning of this series, you can check out my tips for that. But when you've just stamped, you can a lot of times just sort of use the aqua painter to smush that color around a little bit, so it's kind of a subtle way to add some shading inside your design. So that gives you a really fun 3-panel card. So if you had a message with like 3 different greetings on it, or 3 parts, or you wanted to have lots of signatures on a card, this triple panel design is a really fun way to go. So with all those cutting and scoring size information, I think you will be able to recreate this. And remember, any edgelet can be used on the side here. An edgelet is basically anything that cuts along one edge but leaves the other edge uncut. And those are a great tool to use for fun edging cards like this. So happy stamping. If you are interested in Stamps in the Mail Club, go ahead and check my website, lovenstamps.com, to request a kit, either this one or a future month or even a past kit. So thanks so much, and I look forward to sharing another video with you soon. Happy stamping!